It's those little things that keep me finding my way back to the Orange County line.
Welcome to The Why with Dr. T, and I have Brittany here with us for episode 2. She's going to be talking about Safe Haven and all of their growth and the things that they're doing now, and also what you're expecting in the next 8 years.
Yeah.
So let's talk about, you in the last episode, you talked about how you were in 13 counties, 23 employees, which, oh my gosh.
Yeah. Yeah.
What are you doing? Where's those services at now?
So, we offer all of our services for free to the communities that we serve, the 13 counties. We offer what I call wraparound services. So people have completed treatment or they're looking for treatment and they're trying to establish their recovery journey. And so we offer all of those supports around them. So our big ones is peer recovery coaching. So I'm the one that ends up on camera or talking about the organization, and I'm one of the co-founders. But to be very clear, I work in the basement writing grants, and I do not do the boots on the ground work that my people do. My coaches, my executive director, most of our drivers are all people in recovery themselves, that have gone through and gotten certifications and have years of recovery under their belts to give their experience, strength, and hope to other people. So peer recovery coaching is one of our main services that we offer to all 13 counties, and that is one-on-one mentorship. So somebody that's lived the hell that they might be going through right now, and they are on the other side of it, and they can help them remove barriers so that they can be successful in their recovery journey too. So our coaches do everything from, developing a recovery plan for them, setting actionable goals each week, to they need a ride to the Social Security office to get their card so that they can get their ID.
Right.
Like removing those very obvious barriers. And then we do a lot of liaison work with the court systems. So, of course, substance use is one of the medical diseases that comes with possible criminal charges because of the behaviors that come with it. And so our coaches can go to those court dates with their participants, and, kind of testify to the fact that they're working a program or they're doing well or they're not doing well, but they're able to get there and support them. And even if it's just sitting in the room with them, knowing that they have somebody. So our coaches are our main service, and, our coaches serve all 13 counties, and Safe Haven is not a stagnant place. Our coaches are almost always out of the office because they're out in the communities and they're meeting people where they're at. There's quite a few homeless encampments that we help take care of in various counties, and we have to travel to them and take them supplies or take them resources or take them to a treatment center, a homeless shelter, whatever they need. And they are our backbone to the organization, is our coaches. We have our office in Paoli and we have our office in Evansville. And then our second biggest program is our transportation program. So the transportation grant was the first, what I call real grant or big grant that we ever got. Like I wrote it 100% by myself. No clue what I was doing. It was our first state contract. We had never done a state contract before. So again, didn't know what I was doing. And I found out that we got that grant in the line at J.C. Food Store in French Lick.
Through an email?
Through an email, yeah.
Yeah.
It checked in, it swirled to my phone, and I squealed in the checkout line at JC Food Store.
What is this woman doing?
Yeah. And of course, the first thing I did was call Josh and Carrie and my mom, and I'm like, we got it. And so that was our first big grant that we got, and to start a transportation program, which we've had since 2021 now. And the transportation program, again, a free service, provides rides to anybody currently or previously involved in the criminal justice system in Orange and Crawford counties. We've expanded our transport program. In 2024, we expanded to Du Bois County, And then in 2025, we expanded to Lawrence County. So transportation now covers Lawrence, Orange, Crawford, and Du Bois counties. And these are free rides to and from just about anything that they need, again, to get back up on their feet. So criminal justice appointments, probation, parole, mental health appointments, MAT appointments. They need to go to the pharmacy to get their medicine. They need to go to the grocery store. They want to go to a peer support meeting at night. And our transport runs Monday through Friday from 8 a.m. till 10 p.m. And that covers those evening peer support meetings, like an AA at 8 p.m. They can go to it,
Right.
and we can get them there and bring them back. Our transport does a lot of food service box drop-offs for us. So if we have some homebound people that can't get to the pantry, then our transport team will take the food boxes to them. And they do a lot of the transports to and from treatment.
So I know that if those are state dollars, then the reporting, the data on them is probably insane.
A
So
lot.
what do you guess the utilization rate is? Like what do you how many
So
runs you do? What do you do? I mean, just
So 2025, and I don't have the exact numbers in front of me, but 2025 we had over 4,000 rides and served over 1,200 people. So we had to keep track of the rides. We had to keep track of the unique individuals as well. So about 1,200 people, maybe a tad over that, and a total of 4,000 rides and over 120,000 miles that they drove. And in our fleet of Safe Haven vehicles, Safe Haven 1, 2, 3, and 4.
it
So,
is. Of course, I think that is like massive, huge,
Yeah,
right?
it
And
is.
now if you
It
are
is.
in a bigger city or whatever, well, they probably have 15 vehicles. But I mean,
Yeah.
I think 4 or 5 for us is like, wow.
Well, we're so limited
Yeah.
in, again, resources and what we
Yeah.
have. And, our coaches were doing a lot of transports, but that takes them away from doing the other things that they need to do, like mentoring people and getting Narcan out to different community organizations. And so to have a dedicated transport team that can be flexible with taking participants or groups of people to and from treatment is just another access point. And it's been very successful enough that we replicated it in 2 other counties, right? So we started in Orange and Crawford and then replicated it. And our main service, the recovery coaching, is paid for by a state grant. And that's all we're required to do, right, through that particular grant. And as we go into each community, we're able to start other programs and other resources as that community is willing to support us. So we have the infrastructure, we have the staff, we have the ability, we need the funding, right? It's always about the funding. And so for local communities and counties to put dollars into and invest into Safe Haven allows us to expand our programs. And we've seen that and been able to replicate that in other counties. So Du Bois County was the first county that they wanted transportation. We're like, we can do that. We just need this much money.
Mm-hmm.
And they gave it to us, as a grant through the foundation. So we were able to start it, replicate it, show that it also worked in Du Bois and that it reduced recidivism and people are staying out of jail and they're doing work release and things are going well. And so we're able to get continued support. So the transport program has been vital in making sure that people can get back up on their feet. And beyond coaching and transportation, which are our 2 biggest programs, we have a myriad of other programs. Our facility itself is a safe space, right? So we're set up, we've got a couch and TV and books and chairs, and we have a coffee pot that always has coffee available because everybody drinks coffee. And so people can just come and be. So a lot of people that are unhoused or unstably housed will just come hang out for the day.
Right.
We have a large kitchen, so we were able to put in a food pantry, and we were able to start doing community outreach. And so we cook a hot meal for the community once a week. People can come in and eat, access resources, get what they need. Food pantry where we can give out food boxes. And then we have a large harm reduction program. So again, can't recover if you're dead. That's always been my motto since Dakota passed away. So keeping people alive to find their recovery journey is just as important as their recovery journey. So Narcan, we pass out Narcan, the overdose reversal for opiates. We have a box at Safe Haven, and we monitor 8 other boxes throughout 3 counties and keep them stocked for the communities. We're a pass-through for Narcan. So if, SSCHC, Ingle King, Health Department, if anybody needs Narcan, we can pass through to other organizations. But then we also have wound care supplies. We have fentanyl and xylazine test strips, so that people are safe if they're going to use regardless. Because, again, we can't find recovery if we're dead. So the harm reduction evolved into offering a lot of homeless outreach supplies because we started taking care of some homeless encampments in Crawford and Perry County. And so tents and tarps and backpacks and healthy feet cream, brushes and combs and deodorant and body wipes and flashlights and just stuff to make it a little bit easier while they were in that situation. So we offered that. And then lastly, it's just us being here and raising awareness around substance use, breaking the stigma around substance use, hosting safe, sober, pro-social events so that people can come celebrate recovery because it is a wonderful accomplishment for people. That's our other kind of program, if you will, is to be a voice for the people that are in recovery.
Now, I didn't hear you mention the recovery house.
We also have a recovery house, yes. So
Well,
that started
let's
in
talk
2025.
about that because
yeah.
that was also a grant from the IU Community Impact grant that was quite significant.
Yes.
Through the clinic. SICHC was the
Yep.
fiscal agent, but that program was really what catapulted Team OC Youth Mentoring too, because it gave some breathing room for the executive director to be able to go and move and shake while not having to worry about how to fundraise for salary. And then it also then allowed you, I believe
Gave
it was
us an executive director as well.
Executive director, and then
the house.
The house, to buy the house, right? And
it
then
bought the building that Safe Haven is in now.
Okay.
So we were working out of, so we're in what used to be Gateway Ministries.
Yes.
Across from Pizza Hut. That's where we started in 2019. They gave us a room to work out of their church. And that's where we started. And then we kind of outgrew that and getting in each other's way. So we moved to West Baden. And another church lent us space. And we would give them, an in-kind donation for allowing us to use the space. And we stayed there for, 3 years. And then until the IU Community Impact Investment Grant came along, and it had a capital option, which was huge for us because with the addition of transport and harm reduction team and all these things, we had outgrown the space that we had in West Baden as well.
Yeah.
And at that time, the Gateway Ministries building came open for sale, and they moved to a bigger space. They needed a bigger space, so they moved. And so that grant allowed us to purchase in full the building that we're in now. So regardless of where things may end up years later, we have the location. We'll never lose that building. So that was a big win for us and gave us a ton more space and some outside space and back central in the county. So back into Paoli.
Yeah.
So, and then the men's house was the other project out of the IU grant. And so again, we talk about 2018, 2019, and Dr. Yoder, in her infinite wisdom, knew at some point something would happen, and she purchased 2 homes in anticipation of them becoming recovery homes.
Yeah.
And this was like 2019. Like, she purchased them a while ago, but she just knew at some point that's what we were going to be able to do. And so the IU grant allowed us the startup cost of the house and a house manager to get it up and functioning and self-sustaining. And that took us an extra year longer than we thought it was going to take, because it's definitely way bigger undertaking than we thought it was. But it is up and running. It's been since June of 2025, and it is full. It houses 12 men. And we have 12 at all times now. And one leaves, we got another one on a wait list ready to come in. The need is great for that transitional housing period of kind of starting over. So yeah, we have the house, and it's on Main Street, and it's a beautiful old historic home that we lease from Dr. Yoder, and it works really well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Again, it is. It's. This story is almost hard to believe.
Yeah,
It's one of those where there probably ought to be a movie about it, because
I agree.
this whole community really, but of just the rise
Yeah. Yeah.
and the way, I don't really even know what to say about it, because
Yeah.
when you live in it, you work in it, you're fortunate enough to be a mover and shaker in it. Sometimes you do and you don't see.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then when there is time to reflect, you're like, what?
Yeah. When you
how-
start to hash it out like
how
this.
how did we do this?
Yeah,
Like
when
this is just I don't know.
When you start to hash it out like this and you start talking about all the pieces that connect and, oh, well, this happened, but it was because of this and this and this and this. And you look
Yeah.
at the last 8 years, not just for Safe Haven, but for the community, it is a pretty wild story. But I think that that's a testament to the importance of local community members doing what they can to help their community and grow in their community. Or if they need to leave and find some resources and training and bring it back, that's okay too. And working together and making sure that we're all collaborating and working towards the same thing. And there's a quote that I can't remember who it's by, Margaret somebody, and I found it very early in the beginning of helping create Safe Haven, and it was something along the lines of, don't underestimate the power of a small group of people to change the world. In fact, it's the only thing that ever has. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I just,
Yep.
that has stuck with me for the last 8 years. And I'm like, when you look at the things that we've been able to do in the community, in the county, it's been small groups of community members that have just been unforgiving in their quest for betterment of the community. And that's allowed Safe Haven to grow and flourish and not only serve Orange County, but we're able to now serve 13 counties, most of which do not have any other recovery resources besides us. There is not an engagement center in every county.
Yeah.
There should be. Working on that, but there's not.
Right. So I want to talk about, and this will totally put you on the spot, and I realize that you'd have not prepped on this, but what was it, last year when we had the Beyond the Bottom Line?
Yeah.
And you did this, I'm pretty certain this is where you did your report, you crunched the numbers.
I did.
From 18
I did. Yeah.
to now.
Yep.
And took all the state data, all the smart researchers are looking at things, and and you put it together on where we started, where we are now, and specifically with Safe Haven. But we have moved the needle. Safe Haven has moved the needle, and I think I've told you multiple times, like, that needs to be out. Like, somebody needs to be reading that thing all the time, because you do get into this rut of, does this stuff really work? Are we still, we just still seem to have so many people. Are we ever going to be to the point where we don't need these things? And you do get tired. Communities get tired. Supporters get tired. And then you look at what you put together. Yeah. And it's, holy cow. Yeah, it was. So talk about that.
That was surprising even to me when I started doing the numbers, right? So in anticipation of, ironically enough, I detest public speaking. I do. It makes me extremely nervous.
But you're great at it.
But apparently I'm good at it.
You're really good at it.
I listen to everybody else tell me that, and I just do it anyways. And if I have to tell my own coaches and my own staff at Safe Haven that you just got to do it scared, then I got to do it scared too. So preparing for speaking at that conference and trying to capture what I wanted to show with not only Safe Haven, but with just the community in general. Because again, right, we've had all these resources come up and thrive in the last 8 years that I'm like, have we made a difference? Because it does get discouraging doing this kind of work. This is the hardest work that people will ever do, is helping the most vulnerable population, because while you do have wins, you have losses. You have people that continue to struggle. You have people that don't reach out. You have this constant rhetoric of, why are you helping those people? Just let them figure it out themselves. We still have stigma. We still have this not in my backyard syndrome. And it does drain you of empathy and compassion, and you get hard sometimes, until you step out of it and you look at the bigger picture and you look at the data and the numbers and you see the lives that really are being changed. And so I looked at that most of the resources in the county started in 2018 or after. I looked at, we had a pandemic in the middle of the last 8 years that we know worsened some of our data because of the isolation that came with the pandemic. But we're a few years out now, and I really hadn't looked at what do those numbers look like now at a state level. So this is all data that I pulled from, Indiana Department of Health, Stats Indiana, or County Health Rankings, and then
the Kids Count Data Book.
The data, all of those big resources. They're collecting all the data. And then I compared each year of all the points, right? Our overdose rates, our Hep C rates, our teen birth rates, our food insecurity, our housing, our smoking, our alcohol use, our arrests, just all the pieces of data that Safe Haven and the other organizations could have potentially impacted. And what we saw out of that, and I am on the spot so I don't have the numbers, but over half of those measures showed an improvement from 2018 to 2024.
No, they did.
Over half. Like, not one measure, not 3 measures, but I mean, out of the 15-ish measures, over half of them showed a statistically significant improvement. We're not talking 0.5% or 1%. Some of these measures improved by 10% or more in the community, in Orange County, 20,000 people. We moved that number. We actually made that number move. And it is amazing data to show that all the work that we are doing is working. Because even with, and that's what I think makes it more unique, and I'm going to get nerdy, because the numbers are exciting for me, and this is what I do. We had a baseline at 2018 that I was comparing, and then we saw a worsening in 2020. And then still improved compared to 2018. So if you only look at 2020 to current, it's even more of a drastic improvement.
Right.
But we had a worsening in 2020 because of the isolation of COVID. And, overdose rates spiked. Suicide rates went up. Teen births went up. Smoking, driving deaths went up. And so not only did we see a worsening and we were able to make an improvement, but we improved those numbers from 2018 to current. Even with the pandemic. It's pretty amazing stuff.
I know. I think I have told, how many times have I told you,
Yeah.
Brittany, this is what you need to be talking about.
Yeah,
because,
for sure.
Everybody always hears the song and dance that we need resources because we have all these problems. But they need to hear we need these resources because they work.
Because they work. Yeah.
Because they work.
Yeah.
And to me, I think that's the selling point. If I'm a backer or a funder, I'm wanting to know, do they work?
Yeah.
Is what you're doing hitting the mark? And clearly something in this community is hitting the mark. And that's why I think I've multiple times I tell you, we need to be screaming this through the roof.
It's
from the
homegrown.
rooftops.
It's homegrown. That's why it works.
Yeah.
It is. I truly believe that. I have no data to back that piece up. But it's homegrown. There's the right passion behind it. There's the right people in the right places, utilizing the right resources around them. It's not one person trying to do it all. It's 10 people, recruiting more people. It's everybody picking a piece and working together. And it is, we live in this community. We grew up in this community. This is our community. And coming from a person where there was a time in my life in my 20s that all I wanted to do was leave Orange County. It was my absolute goal. I had my RN and I could go to a compact state and I am out of here. To staying, and not only staying, but investing in my community and realizing that I have a part that I can play to help improve it. And then seeing over the last 8 years that what we do works. It works because it's homegrown. And it's because it is the hard boots on the ground work. We are not in offices and dictating policy and procedure. We're creating policy and procedure based off of what my coaches see. All of our programs are based off of my coaches. My coaches give me every week successes and barriers.
Yeah.
What's gone well and what did they struggle with? And transportation, barrier, housing, barrier, food, barrier. Okay, let's fix it. Even transportation, I $1,000 grant from Walmart to buy bicycles. Okay, we can't transport everybody in every county, but we can provide a different way of transporting until you're back on your feet.
Yeah.
All of our programs are created and evolved and changed based off of the needs of the people that we're serving. That's why it works.
And it's not just Safe Haven's program, it's so many other programs with that same mentality of figuring out, identifying the problem and figuring out and being right there and being a part of it.
Yeah.
Not some, 30,000
Right.
foot view.
Yeah.
It's, we're in the weeds. And at the same time, though, I think sometimes when we're in the weeds, we don't really know how things are moving. We
Yeah.
need that space to get out of it and say, okay, what does the real data say? What is it that we're doing? And that just blew me away. I think I went home saying,
Yeah.
oh my gosh, did you know this? And did you know that? And it was amazing. And said, I just think that we need to have that report on access, somehow. And then I think I told you we need to get that on the data part of the sheriff's app, because I think that people need to see that.
Yeah. We've got it on our website, so it's downloadable off the website, and we've got it downloaded on our app.
That's what I was going to ask. You said it. I was thinking, the app. So please talk about the app. I think as soon as I saw that, I text you. I'm like, you have an app. You guys are like big time.
Yeah. So the app is really neat. So again, we serve 13 counties, and trying to reach the most vulnerable of the vulnerable population, right? So even when you have the resources, some people can't get to them, and some people don't know about them, or they don't have a way to connect. And so all the different ways that they could possibly reach us, whether that's Facebook, TikTok, our website, they can call us, they can fax us, they can write us a letter, they can walk into the building. But the one thing that everybody has, even most of our own house population have, is a cell phone.
Yeah.
And there's free Wi-Fi at some place or another, McDonald's, Walmart, the library. And so we wanted an app, another way for people to connect to us, another way for people to get resources and connect to us if they needed something. So we connected with the company that made the sheriff's app, and they also make public health apps. So not just sheriff's apps, but they make public health apps as well, mostly for health departments. They had not ever done one for a recovery hub before, but I'm like, we are public health, so this fits for us. And the way they would have made it, it worked for us. And I was like, yep, we're doing that. So we found grant funding to pay for the app, and it went live last month, I think. And it connects you to, again, all of our resources. So we have all of our resources, which counties have which resources. So you can pick your county and you can get a connection. There's a referral form for Dakota's house, and there's a referral form for services. So somebody can get in there, type their name, a contact number, and choose which resources they need. If they need a coach and transportation and a food box, and that's going to notify us, and we know to connect that person to resources. Our Narcan map is on there, all the Narcan, all of our resources are on there. So the, meeting lists and our data stuff is on there and all that. Our staff are all listed on there, so everybody's names and pictures are on there. So, and then the big thing with the app that we wanted was the ability to send out the push notifications. So if somebody has the app downloaded, they're going to automatically get, if we push a notification out, they're going to get it. And so that felt really important for advertising our community outreach days. If our office was open or closed, weird hours for some reason, if transportation was down, if we have an event coming up, if we have a fundraiser coming up, just another way for us to connect with the community. So it is live and available. It's free to download on Google Play and the iStore, Apple Store, and it's very neat. They did a fantastic job.
I know.
It's so cool.
I saw it on our clinic's Facebook page, and I
Yeah.
thought, oh my, that looks
It's so
amazing.
cool.
Literally, as soon as I saw that, I texted you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, that's cool.
Yes.
Okay, so we have covered so much, but one of the things that I do kind of want to talk about before we end is, if anyone does want to support Safe Haven, tell me all the ways that they can do that. How can they get a hold of Safe Haven?
Right. So, Safe Haven, we're accessible, obviously, in person, by phone, by email, by website. We are across from Pizza Hut Paoli, so 308 South Oak Street. We're open Monday through Friday, 8:30 to 5. And our biggest needs, I would say, are threefold. Financial support, and I feel like that is a drum I always have to beat, but you can't do programs without the money to pay the people to do the programs, so it's just the nature of the beast.
Yeah.
And we don't charge for anything we do. All of our services are free, and we can't charge. It's not an option because people aren't going to access it, and then people aren't going to get the resources. So we absolutely can't charge for what we do. So we rely exclusively on donations and grants. So obviously financial fundraisers or donations are beneficial to us, but even hosting a fundraiser or hosting a food drive for our food pantry is extremely helpful. Donations to our participants. We have a sponsorship program where people can sponsor a need of a participant. And so a participant is somebody working with a coach consistently and regularly, and they have a need that would better support their recovery. And for many people, they don't want handouts. They really don't. They want hand ups. And so for some people, it's like, we had one lady ask for a crossword book because boredom is a trigger for her. And if she had a crossword book, then she wouldn't be as bored at home alone, and it wouldn't be a trigger for her to use. Somebody needed a jacket because they were walking to work and it was becoming fall time and it was getting chilly. It's really small. And I mean, we're talking under $20, right? So it's a really cool way. All of our sponsorships are listed on our app and our website, where people can sponsor a need for a participant. Somebody needed a battery for their scooter. Somebody needed a phone card until they started their job, and stuff like that. So that's another way that people can support directly to our participants. We don't have funds to support those type of needs. So when a donor can do that, then it helps the participant specifically. And then donation of stuff. We always have things that if we don't have to spend our dollars on it and our dollars can go more into programming, then that helps us in the long run. We have to have office supplies and cleaning supplies, and our food pantry relies exclusively on donations. So food donations, all of that helps us rearrange the monies to make sure that we can spend it all on programming. So if there's any people that sew or knit, or crochet, hats, gloves, scarves, socks, especially for our unhoused populations, we collect those year round. And the homemade or handmade stuff is really special to that population. So that's another way. And then just showing up.
Yeah.
Just show up and support. Show up and check out our facility. Come stop by. Share a flyer. Come to an event. Hang out and see the magic, because it is magical when you get a group of people in recovery together and you see how strong they are and how far they've come and what they've been through, and how much they give back themselves because it was freely given to them. So the events are really neat. So even if you don't have $1 to give or $1 to spare, come to an event. Most of our events are free. Come and hang out and enjoy the magic.
So on your app, and I realize it's new, and
Yeah.
and there's no way to know everything, but is there a way to donate on the app, or is there a way to have like a reoccurring donation, or is that something in the works, or could be in the works?
We do have a donation button on our app and on our website. There is a recurring donation option on the website. So if somebody wants to do a recurring donation, like
and that
once a
website
month,
is
www.safehavenrec.com. So, yeah, there is a donation option there that all funnels like through PayPal, I think. People can also do Amazon fundraisers, so the Amazon Smile program, the birthday fundraisers on Facebook, that money funnels through PayPal and comes to us as well. There's a lot of different ways to support us. Businesses doing a, like a dine-in where they donate part of the proceeds
Yeah.
if you eat at their business. That's been helpful for us. Different churches have donated, and we come speak to the congregation to talk about what we do and why we do it. And we're a nonprofit, so everything is open and transparent and available to the public. All of our like tax records are online and available. All you got to do is search them. And then all of our data reports we keep on the website to show what we did, what grants we brought in, where the money went, what impact we made, how many people we served. And, we served between recovery coaching and transportation, we served almost 4,000 people last year. 4,000.
It's huge. It's
It's
amazing.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's amazing. And I've grown with our staff. We have 23 three staff members, and like I said, I'm about the only one there that's not in recovery. It's so important for it to be driven by them because they know what they needed in their recovery journey. I can't come in and tell people what they need. They've got to tell me. We have to meet people exactly where they're at in their journey, and they've got to give us some guidance on what they think might help. We can give opinions or advice, but we can't demand a certain pathway because it doesn't work. So nothing about us without us is strong in the recovery community. And my executive director's in recovery. All of our coaches that are in recovery. The majority of our drivers are in recovery. That's why it's so successful.
Talking the talk and walking the
And
walk.
walk.
And that is exactly why
Yeah.
you do what you do.
Yeah. It's a joy for me to witness the growth of the organization and the growth of our programming, because I almost do sometimes feel like a little bit of an outsider because I'm not somebody in recovery. I'm obviously a strong ally, but I am not somebody in recovery. And so I almost feel like I have this like special backstage pass to the recovery community, that this VIP ticket that gets me in. And so to get to watch it, and again, at Safe Haven, I work in the basement. My office is in the basement, and I write grants and I do the data. And the social media, I do all the background boring stuff that nobody wants to do but has to be done to keep a business going. And I get to watch and see all of my staff members that possibly wouldn't have had careers if it wasn't for this job opportunity.
Yeah.
Most of them have records, most of them have a background, and now they have careers. They are certified by the state of Indiana. They can go to college, they can expand, they can, promote up, they can do whatever they want to do, honestly, at this point. And that's where the real magic is not only are we helping lots of people and people are getting resources that my brother never had access to, but my staff are getting such a cool opportunity to grow in a career around recovery. I don't know, it's all very magical. I'm very blessed and humbled to be able to witness it all, even when I feel like I'm not the show, you know what I mean? Like, again,
Yeah.
I'm in the background and I end up on camera speaking in conferences and stuff, but they do the work. They're out there every day traveling and walking and meeting people.
Yeah.
I mean, they're tramping into, encampments and passing out Narcan and food boxes, and they're doing the hard work. So, they get all the glory because we wouldn't be here without them. And economically, how much we benefit the community by being here. I think that's the data doesn't show that part of it.
Yeah.
The data shows the health impacts, but the data doesn't show economically how we benefit a community by being here.
Well, yeah, because now all those 23 may or may not be Orange County residents, but probably a lot of them are.
A majority.
And you are, they're making a living, they're feeding their families, they're paying their bills with money that they earn from Safe Haven.
Yeah, exactly. So we have an office in Paoli and we have an office in Evansville. So the majority of our staff in the Paoli office are from Orange County. And so they are making a living in Orange County. They're paying taxes in Orange County. They're working a full-time job. They're buying cars and buying houses and buying their groceries and eating out at the local restaurants
Yeah.
with the money that they made. That may not have been possible if it wasn't for this job opportunity. Because the next closest place to be a recovery coach is going to be, Bedford or Jasper or Bloomington, further out into community mental health centers or hospitals or something like that. So, yeah, economically, we benefit by being here, bringing in the grant dollars into the county,
Yeah.
spending them in the county,
Yeah.
having staff in the county spend their money in the county. I mean,
Yeah.
that's one of our next steps is a cost benefit analysis on what would it cost our communities if we weren't here. Because I think that's just as important to know so that we can garnish support. And,
Right.
If we weren't here, what does that look like to the economy, to recidivism, to the criminal rates, to all that kind of stuff if we weren't here?
Yeah, I think you're right that's the next
That's our next step.
step.
It's a little boring, but it's needed.
No, but it tells a story that needs to be told because, I said the reality is you got to be the mover and shaker, but you can't be the mover and shaker without funding. And we have to, people want to know those things if they're going to fund something.
Right. Does it work? How does it work? And why is it important?
Exactly. So I think that probably is a good wrap for us on that note. So Brittany, thank you again for being here.
I appreciate it.
And truly amazing.
It is.
Always glad to talk with you. Yeah. Usually, it's what do I need to do or what do I need to who do we need to call? But in this case, I am thrilled that you decided to be with us and telling the story again.
Thank you. Thank you so much.